Hey guys, my name is Nogan and welcome to my C++ series. So in today's video we're going to be focusing on the auto keyword in C++. But before we continue guys, if you haven't watched the previous video, I'm going to link a card on top there. It's about type death statement in C++. So in today's video we're going to be focusing on learning what is the auto keyword. So auto now it's a keyword in C++ that gives us the ability to define identifiers of variables automatically now in terms of when they predefined when you initialize in the main function. So as you'll see in a moment, we're going to declare 4 variables. We won't give them any type, they'll be typeless, but we'll use the auto keyword now is the define system where automatically now the keyword will define for us the data type upon initialization. So use the auto, type auto. Let's give it a name, a variable name. For example, let's say age, assign it to 24. Let's say auto again. Let's give it sex is the variable name or identifier. Assign it to M for male. Auto again. Let's give it a name of, let's say, money. 125.45. Auto one more time, and let's give it for example, because now we have 3 variables, one more, so because we're going to be having a few of them of this type, so we'll include another one of, say, human. Let's initialize it to true. Okay, so what's gonna happen guys, now afterwards I'm going to include a few statements so we can see eventually how many bytes of memory has been allocated now for each individual variable declared with this auto keyword in front there. Because remember, I spoke about the auto gives us the ability now to automatically define a data type upon initialization of the variable names here of age, sex, money, and human. Fundamentally, if you think about it, if you just zoom in here for a moment and look at like this 4 variables being declared, you can see eventually based on what we did, we initialized age to 24. Then to give you like some hint, say now age has to be an int variable in a way. If you think about it, sex we give it now a initialization of m. So fundamentally now in your mindset has to give it an information, say now, which means sex, for example, needs to be a character data type. So let's try and justify our assumption with cout statement. So we're going to say cout, let's say integer. Let's go back here, say integer data type. Type in a size of operator. This function will give us now an amount of bytes of memory has been allocated. So if the amount of bytes of memory is allocated for example, because we know int is 4 bytes of memory, so if the integer is 4 bytes, which means the assumption corresponds to the output. Character so the following will be now of type double, which is going to be money. Okay, let me copy this. Let me just copy this line of code here, paste it, change a few variables. This will be now for this one, let me say it's bool. So we're just assuming that now what we're doing here, we're just assuming that based on our assumption and on the initialization of these variables here, that the first line of cout statement here of 912 will be an integer, and the second will be a character double, also boolean. So let's try and compile a program. Turn Control Shift B to compile a program. So we can just see is there any syntax errors in the source code. Awesome, succeeded. So go to local win debugger here, click on it. Awesome. As you guys can see, integer, it's 4 bytes of memory, in just like based on our assumption. Characters 1 byte of memory. Awesome. Doubles 8 bytes of memory, and same applies to bool. So it looks like now our assumption now is on point in terms of trying to use the auto keyword to fundamentally give us any clarification about how many bytes of memory has been allocated here. Let's say, for example, we remove all this initializations, to initialize all the variables. We just declared the auto keyword like this. We didn't initialize it. As you can see now, automatically there's like some sort of error being displayed. And if you do Control-Shift-B to compile your program, it'll give you some errors in source code. And if you go to the output window here, the window says eventually, if you look at this messages here, says error of age, a symbol whose type contains auto must be an initializer, which means you have to initialize this variable upon declaration, which means when you're declaring a variable of type auto, for example, age is a type auto declaration, you have to initialize it. The initializing give it now the signification, saying this will be eventually a type. If, for example, I said here age is, for example, single quotation mark, said F, so the compiler will now register age as a character type, because why? We initialize it with this F letter here, which is like now going to be the letter to signify this is a character variable. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this video, because as you can see, we're getting to a point where you can use now advanced systems in keywords in C++. It can give us much more advanced programming skills. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, subscribe to my channel, click on the bell notification, and see the post on my channel.